Right now, someone is paying $400 for earbuds that a $50 pair beats in a blind test, and feeling smart about it. 5 brands built a whole business on that trick. 5 others flat out refuse to play it. Let's name all 10. Number 10. Beats. The logo you end up paying for twice. Beats built its whole empire on a look and a name. And when Apple bought the brand back in 2014, that name got welded to the most powerful marketing machine on the planet. For years, the joke wrote itself. You were buying a fashion accessory that happened to make noise, tuned so bass-heavy, it turned every song into a subwoofer demo in a mall parking lot. Here's the part nobody at the checkout counter tells you, though. The teardowns have caught up. The independent reviewers who actually put these on a measurement rig will tell you the newer Beats Buds sound genuinely fine now. Flat enough, clean enough, perfectly listenable. But fine is the entire problem when you're paying $150 to $250 for it. Think about that for a second. At that price, you are not buying better sound than the competition. You're buying the halo, the little lowercase b on the side that tells the room you spent real money. Strip the logo clean off and drop those exact same drivers into a plain white shell with a name nobody recognizes, and half the people defending them right now would walk straight past the display without slowing down. That's the tell. Beats stopped being an outright scam years ago and quietly turned into something sneakier, a brand premium, a tax you volunteer to pay so a stranger on the train knows what's clipped to your ears. If it's the pair already sitting in your gym bag, relax, you didn't buy garbage. You just paid a premium for the sticker, and the sticker doesn't make a single song sound better. Number 9. Bowers & Wilkins. The hi-fi heirloom that forgot what a phone costs. I want to be fair here, because this is a real audio company, decades of speaker heritage behind it. The kind of British name that gets whispered with reverence in proper listening rooms. The Pi 8 earbuds genuinely sound lovely. Rich, detailed, spacious. The kind of pair a real audiophile can happily live with for years. And then you turn over the price tag, $400. For that money, you have stopped paying for sound and started paying for lineage, for the badge, for the warm feeling that you own a shrunk-down piece of a legendary speaker brand tucked into your ear canal. Here's where the measurements catch up to the mythology, and it's not pretty. In careful blind listening, the real gap between these and a well-tuned $100 pair is a sliver. A rounding error most human ears cannot reliably pick out on a good day. So you are handing over roughly $300 extra for the last 2% of refinement, plus a logo that means something to about 4 other people in your entire city. And here's the kicker, nobody wants to say out loud, this is a product you will lose in a couch cushion, drop in a parking lot, or leave on a plane within 18 months. Heritage is a beautiful thing. Heritage at $400 a pair, on a device this easy to misplace, is a luxury bill wearing the costume of a smart audio decision. That's the pair your one friend won't stop bringing up at dinner, and now you know exactly what he actually paid for. Number 8. Master and Dynamic. The design magazine you can wear. Walk into any boutique that also sells $30 candles and $40 notebooks, and these are the earbuds staged on the shelf under the good lighting. Machined metal, leather-wrapped cases, packaging that feels like unboxing a fine watch. And I'll give them this, no argument. It is the most beautiful hardware in this entire countdown. But that is precisely the sleight of hand. You are being sold an object, not an audio device, and the object runs you around $300. When the reviewers pull them off the shelf and put them on the bench, the story gets very quiet, very fast. The sound is good. That's it. Just good. Nowhere near the neighborhood you would expect, for triple the price of pairs that measure every bit as clean. The teardowns have caught up here too, and what they reveal underneath the leather is a fashion product with a competent speaker inside, priced by the design studio and the marketing team rather than by the drivers doing the work. You're paying for the aluminum, the stitched leather, the satisfying little snap of the case closing in a quiet room. Real, tactile, genuinely nice things, and not one of them is something your actual eardrum can hear. It's the most stylish way to overspend in this whole video, sitting right there on the same shelf where you almost talked yourself into that candle. Number 7. Bose. Flagship money for a spec sheet that's missing pages. This one is going to sting the loyalists, so brace yourselves, because Bose actually earns real respect. They're a genuine research-first company. Real patents, real noise cancellation pedigree, decades of engineering that genuinely moved the whole industry forward. So understand, this is not a cheap shot at how they sound. It's a shot straight at the receipt. Take the Bose Ultra Open Earbuds, parked at $299, premium tier, premium name, premium everything supposedly. And then you actually open the box and start noticing what isn't in it. No wireless charging case, no ear detection sensors to automatically pause your music the second you pull a bud out of your ear. These are features that a $50 pair from a brand you have literally never heard of tosses in without a second thought. The reviews have caught up and said it flatly in plain print that at $300, those things should have been standard, not quietly left on the cutting room floor. And that is the Bose move distilled into one sentence. You pay the full flagship price. You proudly get the flagship badge. And then somewhere around day 3, you discover the flagship is missing the little conveniences the budget dinghies were throwing in for free. The engineering under the hood is real. I'll defend that all day. It's the value math where it reaches into your pocket, probably charging in its case on your nightstand as you watch this. Number 6. Bang & Olufsen. The jewelry that happens to make sound. This is the one I teased at the very start, and this is the single worst offender in the entire overpriced half of this list. So lock in. Bang & Olufsen is Danish luxury. Full stop. No notes. The Beoplay earbuds float around $400 and climb from there, and every single thing about them is engineered to feel expensive before you ever press play. The weight in your palm, the cold anodized finish, the store that looks less like an electronics shop and more like a modern art gallery with a security guard. Here's the brutal reveal, and I want it to land. You are not buying earbuds. You are buying a small piece of jewelry that also plays music, and the music is comfortably the least impressive thing about it. The measurements drop it right down alongside pairs that cost a fifth as much, sometimes a good deal less. Every dollar you spend, over roughly 80, is buying you Danish design language and a name engineered to signal wealth to the exact kind of person who recognizes it, which is a far smaller and far more specific club than the $400 price is quietly promising you. This is the purest, most undiluted version of the entire scam running through this list. A genuinely gorgeous luxury object, priced like a wristwatch, performing like a solid mid-tier earbud, sold to people who, if we're honest, were never really shopping for audio in the first place. $400, sitting in a glass display case, lit up like a diamond ring. Now let's flip the whole thing over, because these next 5 are where your money finally stops buying a name and starts buying actual sound. Number 5. Sony. The giant that never forgot the little guy. Sony could very easily coast on its flagship reputation and charge whatever it felt like. And honestly, at the very top of the range, it does ask for a lot. But here is what earns Sony a firm spot on the hero side of this list. They put real, serious engineering at the bottom of the ladder too, not just the top. Look at the WF-C5 on 10, sitting right around $50, sometimes dipping comfortably under. No active noise canceling at that price, sure, but you get a clean, thoughtfully tuned, genuinely enjoyable pair with multi-point pairing and Sony's own audio upscaling baked right in from a company that has forgotten more about sound than half the robbers on this list will ever learn. And when you do climb up to the flagship 1000 series, the measurements have caught up and confirmed it outright, that you're stepping into one of the best measuring noise-canceling systems anyone has ever crammed into an ear, with microphone arrays trained on an absolute mountain of real voice data to nail your calls. That right there is the whole difference. When Sony charges you a premium, the engineering is actually physically in the box justifying it. And when Sony only charges you $50, the engineering is somehow still in the box. You are paying for drivers and tuning and research, not for a logo tax stapled onto the price. That is what a company respecting your money actually looks like. And it might just be the fair, sensible pair sitting in your online cart right now, waiting for you to stop second-guessing yourself and check out. Number 4. The budget underdogs. The names your snobby audiophile friend has never even heard of. This one's a 3-for-1 because an entire wave of scrappy brands is quietly humiliating the $400 crowd, and you deserve to know every single one of them by name. CMF, the sub-brand spun out of nothing, dropped the Buds Pro 2 at around $59 with a hybrid noise-canceling system rated at 50 decibels, numbers that have absolutely no business showing up anywhere near that price. SoundPeats keeps quietly shipping pairs stuffed with premium codecs and battery life that flat out embarrasses the flagships. And Moondrop, a name born and raised in the serious audiophile world, sells the Space Travel 2 at around $30 with real functioning active noise canceling. $30. That is less than a dinner for two for earbuds that cancel noise. The lab measurements have caught up on all of them, and they are merciless in the best possible way. These pairs go toe-to-toe with earbuds costing 3 and 4 times as much, and on raw sound quality, some of them simply win outright. There's no proud logo to flash here, no gallery boutique, no leather case to fondle. Just engineers who took the entire budget and spent it on the one part that actually touches your ear. That's the pair your coworker is smugly wearing for 1/10 of what the robbers charge, and quietly pretending it was just good luck. Number 3. OnePlus. The value benchmark the entire industry is now chasing. If you've followed the audio press at all this year, you have watched reviewer after reviewer after reviewer point at exactly one pair and call it the new line drawn in the sand. The OnePlus Buds 4, sitting right around $110 to $130 and regularly dropping down to $109 on promo. And the reason they all keep naming it out loud is refreshingly simple. It quietly runs the entire flagship checklist, the high-end codecs, the genuinely effective noise canceling, the long battery, the clean, no-nonsense app. All of it at a price that makes the $300 crowd look like they're openly pricing for suckers. The measurements have caught up, and they land these squarely in performance territory that used to cost you double, easily. This is precisely what it looks like when a company makes the deliberate decision to win on value instead of vibes. No $400 heritage tax, no fashion house markup, no gallery lighting, just a genuinely excellent pair of earbuds, priced like the company actually, sincerely wants you to buy them and tell your friends. That's the exact set your tech buddy keeps texting you to get while you keep stalling and overthinking it, sitting one open browser tab away from you right this second. Number 2. Earfun. The spec sheet that openly embarrasses the flagships. I need you to actually hear this feature list read out loud because it borders on rude. The Earfun Air Pro 4 Plus, sitting right around $100, Ships with Bluetooth 6.0, aptX lossless, LDAC, Auracast, a full 10-band equalizer, and multi-point pairing. Go back and read that list again slowly. That is a connectivity spec sheet that beats earbuds costing twice as much, and it is tucked inside a pair that costs $100. The dual driver setup nails the fundamentals cleanly. The default tuning tracks right up against the reference curve the reviewers actually test against. And yes, the noise canceling here is merely very good rather than absolute class leading, which at this price is not a complaint. It is frankly a small miracle. The lab testing has caught up and confirmed the whole thing, that you are walking away with 80 to 90% of a true flagship experience for right around a third of flagship money. This is the exact pair that makes the Bang & Olufsen up at number 6 look like a practical joke played on rich people. Same core job, 1/4 of the price, and nobody had to sacrifice a single meaningful feature to hit that number. That is the pair I keep quietly recommending to the people who swear up and down they simply need the fancy famous brand, sitting there in the box, proving every last one of them wrong. Number 1. Soundcore Liberty 4 NC, the giant killer, and worth every single penny. This is the one I promised you all the way back at the top, and this is the pair I now physically hand to anyone at all, who asks me what earbuds they should buy. Soundcore, made by Anker, priced right around $99. Adaptive active noise canceling that genuinely clamps down on airplane rumble and coffee shop hum instead of just pretending to. Multi-point pairing, so it juggles your phone and your laptop without ever picking a fight. Battery life that flat out outlasts pairs, costing 3 times as much. And here's the single detail that seals the whole thing shut, the thing not one of the robbers up top will ever give you. Anker keeps shipping firmware updates years after launch, quietly making a pair you already paid for measurably better over time, while the $400 luxury brands have already moved on to selling you next year's model. The measurements have caught up and crowned this thing over and over again, one of the best balanced earbuds at any price, not just its own little budget bracket. This is the entire thesis of this video, compressed into one product you can hold in your hand. You do not need to spend $300. You never actually did. What you need is $99 and a company that chose to spend it on engineering instead of a billboard. That's the pair that should honestly be sitting in your ears by this time next week. And I'll say it plainly, it's the only one on this entire list I'd bet my own money on without blinking. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, you just saved yourself a genuinely embarrassing amount of money, and you earned it. Remember, sometimes the best sound in the room is not wearing the biggest name at all. Sometimes it is the quiet pair that spent your money on engineering instead of a logo, just sitting there waiting for you to be smart enough to pick it.